Come on, where's the live feed? I'm not seeing it. What's going on, Peach? There we go. What do you think, Peach? Well, let's get these out of my ears so I don't hear myself echoing in the background. What do you think, Peach? Hmm? What do you think, Peach? Hmm? Hey, Peaches. Hello, Eleanor. Hello, Amy. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Aaron. It probably doesn't mean anything, but this one today has not had any visible blood in her poop. So her droppings have looked pretty close to normal today, haven't they? Except for the blueberries. She likes her blueberries, don't you? Don't you, Peach? Don't you, Peaches? You do, don't you? Yeah, it's only one day, but so far, and the droppings from last night haven't shown any, so there's always that possibility her body might fight it off. According to Dr. Jenkins, she's fought it off more than once. Apparently her body has been fighting it ever since she was exposed, and that was probably quite some time ago. There you go, Peach. A little preening for you, huh? We have, yeah, she's pretty much herself today. She's been talking a lot. I actually took some video of her earlier. Let me get my ugly face off the screen here. Took some video of her earlier when she was saying hello, and there's a word in there I can't understand, so I will put that up for somebody to try to figure out. She's got like a new word in there. Don't know what that word is, but she's got a new word in there I haven't heard before. Haven't you, Peach? We do have Jasmine with us today, and of course Romeo. I don't know. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. I mean, she might be trying to say friends. And there's the Pip. Oh, Pip's where you can see her today. There's the Pip. I just wish that YouTube would let me use more than one camera, because I can do close-ups, you know, with this phone, but not if they don't access the API to change the cameras. And they don't. And there's Sugar and Salamander, Manderbird. Lorelei was out with us today. She gave me my exercise doing the limbo, trying to get her. She always fights coming out wherever she is, out of her cage, out of the aviary. There's Cause. Cosmo. Hi, Doris. And there is Snowball doing his Skywalker routine. Hi, Snowball. Snowbird. Snowball. Yeah, I'm holding the camera at you. I know. You always think that's weird. Probably because it is. But, Cause. Hi, Cockatoo. One of these days you're going to say that where everybody can hear it. Hi, Cockatoo. Hi, Cockatoo. Not now? Hi, Cockatoo. Hi, Cosmo. And there's Babaloo. And Babaloo he seems to be fine on the medicine now. He's not plucking, and his behaviors are absolutely normal, just what you'd expect. Which, of course, with him is what most people wouldn't expect, but that's Bob. And there's Cecil. Yeah, well, this is his normal sleepy time, but he is awake. Yeah, see, he hates cameras. You can't say hate because they don't have that in there. But he reacts like that to cameras. The feathers on the back of his neck go up. It's like, get the camera away from me. Does not like cameras in his environment pointed at him or with people on the screen. Someone is half asleep. Foot's up. He was a busy boy today out in the aviary. Wasn't he, Peach? Wasn't he, Peaches? Was he a busy boy? Yeah, I did that video. I mean, that video hit me one day. I had heard someone say, do as I say, not as I do. And then I went, that's something I need to make a video about because the one I get the most is the way you say. You say not to pet a bird down the back, and yet you pet peaches down the back. You say to only pet them for 5 minutes at a time, but I've seen you petting peaches, especially for longer than that. And mostly we're dealing with birds that have not been mated to you yet in those cases. If they've been mated to you, you might still want to stick to those rules so that they don't become too territorial and do things to your friends and family you may not like. So, Doris, I have to say that until I started working with parrots, I would not have called myself terribly compassionate. Patient. I have people say, "You're so patient." It's like, yeah, Well, if I wasn't patient, I couldn't deal with them, and I learned to do that. I did have to take some courses to help too, but a lot of it was just them teaching me. They're patient with me, I'm patient back. Cecil was, he was whacking me on the head with a piece of wood today. That wasn't too bad. Actually, the thing that he got me with that was the worst, I have these little cardboard boxes. I mean, they're only about 3 inch by 3 inch, and you fold them up and put a toy inside or something. So I did that, threw one of those in there. And he started whacking me on the head with it. He opened it up part of the way, had the lid out. And those, cardboard can be sharp. So, yeah, that's just Cecil. He is a blast, though. He's so much fun. Aren't you, Cecil? And if I lean against his cage or I'm anywhere close to it, he'll reach out and grab me. So he's like an AT&T commercial from the old days. Reach out and touch someone. That's him. And Bob, of course, defends me. He's getting better about that, though. He does let other birds up on my lap. So, again, it's not like it's a miracle. I've been working with him to get him so that his territoriality doesn't extend to the point where it can only have him on my lap. So the first one he accepted was Peaches, but even then, occasionally he would try to knock her off my lap. But now I can pretty much put even the dreaded Pippa. She's the only one on the cage that has the word danger on the front of it, but it's just because I don't know what that person who had her, the woman who had her originally did to her, or someone else that was around at that time did to her, but she just doesn't like to be around ladies. Now, I'm not going to say she doesn't like lady fingers. She probably would, start chewing on them and then finish with the rest of the lady. But, hey, nice wings there, buddy. What are you doing there, Rome? Hi, Romeo. Now, I've been working with him. When he got moved here, the first thing he did was not to want to have anything to do with me, which is normal. Right, Rome? Right, Romeo? Now he's letting me pet him, and when I give him his food, he doesn't walk away from me anymore. He stands right there, or he leans over towards me. Yes, you do. It's true. He must be, when they yawn like that, it usually means there's something with their ears going on. So you better watch him just to make sure he doesn't have an ear infection. But yeah, because yawning is to clear the ears, right? If you touch their ears, they yawn. Whenever I give him food, he gets squirted. So he likes to be misted. I have these little misters, a company called Poop Off. I don't use their cleaning solution anymore, although there's nothing wrong with it. I just make my own. It's considerably less money, and it doesn't have as much odor. But they have a great mister, and it's just the right amount of mist. It's not too much of a squirt bottle kind of thing. Although I still like to hit him with a squirt bottle once in a while because he was afraid of them. So I want to make sure he stays unconcerned about regular squirt bottles. What are you doing? Oh, okay. He's just scratching his face. when you see a bird leaning up against a toy, that is sometimes mating behavior, and you don't want it. But I haven't seen him do that behavior, not since Chloe passed away. So. Yeah, Jazz is in Peach's cage again. Yep. So she can be in here, not stuck in the kitchen when nobody, or the dining room where nobody is right now. So. Right, Peach? Yeah, Doris. Patience, like you say, you need immense patience. But, you know, I know I've said this before, but the Basaba Manual for Citizen Birds, huge list of things in that book of problems with cockatoos. And then it says at the bottom, it's all the problem of the people who are dealing with them. The ones who are caring for them are the problem, not the cockatoo. If you understand the species as much as we can understand them, then, and you know ABA, you should be able to work through all the issues. If you don't know ABA, it's going to be harder. I mean, it's not like it's that hard to learn. I mean, the principles behind it may be difficult, but the basic techniques aren't that tough. And if you take Animal Training 101, she's very, this lady is an academic. She does know a lot. I mean, a tremendous amount. Watching her videos, you think, it's almost like, and I don't know how to say this politely. It's almost like she's just too flippant or too relaxed. Well, she's quite relaxed. She's been doing it so long. Yeah, think like a horse. He's right about that, Eleanor. You can't blame the animal. I mean, they're just being what they are, so. But example, like I was using, having trouble getting Mander out of the aviary. He doesn't want to come out, okay? He wants to stay in there. And he'll do that, pretend like he's going to bite your routine. He's never bitten anyone. I would say I've not had a bite from him in probably 10 years. So, but he pretends like he's going to. So one technique in ABA is called DRA. It's fancy name, differential reinforcement. All differential differential reinforcement means that you've got two things. You're reinforcing one and you're doing the opposite to the other. You're causing the other one to wither or go away. So you're going to balance those two things like a seesaw. So differential reinforcement of another behavior. In this case, the behavior I did was wiggle my fingers. They can't wiggle theirs. Wiggle my fingers in front of him and then reach for his feet. And he was like, what in the world is he doing with his fingers? And then I got him to step up. So that worked for about a week. And then I will probably have to do another. He's come out for the last 2 days with no problem, but he's going to do this again. And then I will have to come up with something else, DRA or DRI. That's the differential reinforcement of an incompatible behavior. So an incompatible behavior would be like a bird cannot try to bite you if they're eating. Now that doesn't mean they can't drop the food and try to bite. And it's not normal for birds to bite anyway. This is not a normal behavior. It's something they learn from humans, okay? So if, let's say, Salamander's not fond of almonds, but he likes edamame. So if I were to go to the aviary with edamame, the odds are he would take it from my hand, and while it's in his beak, I could pick him up. Example, that's DRI. So these are the kind of things you learn. Some are a little more, they're not complicated, just a little more involved, okay? So you learn all those techniques, and you can learn all this stuff without having to get into the heavy mechanics of it by going to Animal Training 101 online and taking the course. And she has like a couple of example sessions, so you can see if you would like her as a teacher. I highly recommend it. I don't get paid for doing that. I paid for the $400 for my training, and you get to watch these videos, and they're long videos. You get to watch them all year long and refer back to them. You know, you get a year of watching them. So, and you can get the book. But if you're going to get the book, I suggest that you watch the videos and you take the class, because The book is for academics. Everything in it is valid, but you're going to need a college level mindset to approach it. So if you watch the video, you'll understand the book. If you don't watch don't take the class and watch the videos, you might not. Hi, Cockatoo. Amy said you were looking over. Say hi, Cockatoo. Can you say hi, Cockatoo? I know you can say hi, Cockatoo. You say hi, Cockatoo? Hi, Cockatoo. Hi, Cockatoo. Hi, Cockatoo. Yeah, you want out, huh? Well, it's not a good idea. The problem with letting them out in here is that walking on the tops of cages is a good way to get your feet hurt. So we don't want anybody with a foot injury. Aw, thanks for the super stickers, can I say? The peach. Hi, Cause. Hi, Cause. Hey, Peach. So I'm not really kidding in that video, though, when I say, do as I say, not as I do, because we all have different levels of understanding. So I am actually using the techniques of ABA, but in most of these birds, I've had to go beyond the basics. Just like in chess, where you have had those openings, like you've got the King's Gambit, the Queen's Gambit, you've got the Nimzo Indian openings and all that kind of stuff. So there's different openings. And you make those openings and then you deal with whatever kind of responses you get. And it's the same thing with ABA. So you want to start out with those basics. I was talking to one lady who was having issues with this bird she had just brought in. And yeah, Peaches is pretty perky right now, Eleanor. Hi, Cheryl. And I told her her husband was having trouble with the bird, and the bird was nipping at him and trying to keep him away from her. And I said, well, let him give her treats, just what we call come-bearing gifts. Just occasionally walk by and give a treat. And then also do calm attention, where you teach a bird slowly. You start with 1 second to sit and just pay attention to you, usually through what we call protected contact. Protected contact is through a cage, right? That kind of thing. Well, no, she didn't listen to me. She started letting him hold the bird for a half hour at a time. She worked him within a few days into holding the bird. That's the wrong approach, because if the bird hasn't mated to her, what the bird's going to do after that is mate to him. And then he was probably improperly petting a bird. As I'm improperly petting Peaches right now, she's mated to me. It's not going to make a difference unless she starts vibrating. And I also preen her at the same time. So what she did was not listen to what I said, just go on her own way and do it her own way. Well, that's the wrong way to go. She might get lucky. The bird might not be bonded to her, may be bonded to her, and it might work out, but that's not the way you do it. And you're asking for trouble. The next thing you know, that bird might take a chunk out of her. So, but she hasn't talked to me since when I told her not to do what she was doing. So I don't even know if she still has the bird. A lot of times when I'm helping people, they don't listen, right? Or they see my videos and see me doing it a different way. So I guess it was about time to do that video. I had fun doing it, though. I got a lot of good footage, literally footage with Cecil, because he was going after my feet. There are a lot of scenes in there where you can learn something from, too. The whole thing with Cecil and the feet is all due to, ultimately, to mate territoriality, because he is bonded to Lorelei, although they don't get to go out or be in the same room loose ever again together, because he is a barber. So that's not going to happen. What, Peach? What did you say? What did you say, Peach? Peaches? You said something, baby. Whatever it was, I lost track of what I was talking about. Must not have been important, right? Yeah, see? I thought so. That's one of her sweet nothings there. So that's what made me think of it. But I got a lot of beep 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 beep. Eleanor says beep 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 beep. Beep 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 beep. Yeah, you want to hear Eleanor say that, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, it is a problem when I'm trying to teach people how to do things. I'm not going to change the behavior necessary to deal with the bird just to make the video look good, okay? So if I say, don't do this with a bird, and I'm doing it, I'm not going to change the behavior like that Peaches needs, for example. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? You look handsome there, big boy. I'm not going to change the behavior she needs just to make someone else feel good that I'm following my own words. If she was not bonded to me, if she didn't need her tail end preened, and on top of that, if she wasn't sick, I wouldn't be giving her as much attention as I do. Okay? But everything is relative to the bird, so you add up everything, and like today she's going to get a bath. She gets baths now pretty regularly, so. With Snowball, everybody gets something different. Snowball in the morning, he gets his medicine. He doesn't get much, but he gets a little bit of medicine to keep him from chewing up on his chest. And then he wants to be petted, so that's what he gets. Where with Bob, I have to sneak the medicine to him. And I'm almost afraid to say this out loud, even though I know he doesn't know. Oh, thank you, Michelle. They do look good, don't you? Oh, you guys talking over there? I think, they're planning to take over the world. But with Bob, to get his medicine, the new method I came up with, I put a rubber band around my wrist. I take the medicine that's mixed into the peanut butter on a craft stick, and I put it, like a magician, I put it on the underside of my wrist where it's hidden by my hand. And then I go around and give a couple of birds peanut butter, and then he wants it, so he starts asking for peanut butter. I'll give him a little bit on a stick, and then when he clamors for more, I bend over like I'm making him a stick. I make a quick turnaround, pop the stick out from my wrist, and give him that one, and then he takes it. But I can't give him one that's pre-made on the plate. He won't eat it. Right, Bob? I'm sure he wants to know how I'm tricking him now, because he knows he's getting the medicine, but he doesn't know how. I'm pretty sure of it, because he still doubts me handing him things. But right, Bob? I'm talking about you, and you know it. And that much you know. You say, oh, here we go. You want to hold my arm? You grabbing at me? Are you grabbing me? That's Cecil. Reach out and touch someone, right, Cecil? Hi, Cockatoo. Hi, Cockatoo. Hi, Cockatoo. Oh, that one right there used to mess up her tail feathers, something horrible. But so he gets in the morning, actually at medicine time, he gets petted right after I give him his medicine. I just give it to him in a syringe, just squirt it in the upper portion of his beak over his tongue. And then he wants to be petted. Bob doesn't want the medicine, so I have to sneak it to him. Cause will bend her head down. I have to gently lift her head up and put it over her tongue. Oh, very good, Peaches. Good girl, Peaches. You got another song? Yeah, that's a peach. So every bird gets that different. And then they all like different kinds of attention. So Snowball loves to get over and cuddle with me out in the aviary, but the other birds tend to keep him away. And don't know if anyone has noticed this, but yes, it is a beautiful song, isn't it, Peach's beautiful song? He has a bit of a stutter step. One of his legs does not move the same as the other. So this Snowball. So he seems a little conscious about that. And then this one likes to come over and sit on my lap. And to get with her, I stick to the 3-minute rule. I won't pet her for more than 3 minutes at a time because she is sensitive to being petted. And then, of course, only on the head. And you could actually see me do that, just only on the head with her. She's not, as far as I know, she's not mated to me. Lorelei just likes to be sweet-talked. She comes out of her cage to get her medicine, and then she gets a little bit of peanut butter treat. You got another song in there? Peaches, you got another song? You got another song? Peaches, got another song? Beep, 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 beep. Peachy song. Peachy song. Good girl. Peach's reward, her secondary reward, is petting. That's what she likes. Actually, it's a primary reinforcer with her petting her. Food doesn't do much as far as she likes to eat, but it's not a great reinforcer. So she's one that petting is a reinforcer. Snowball petting is was his major primary reinforcer. This one over here, Cause likes sunflower seeds, but petting is another primary. I'm lucky with a lot of primaries like that. Lorelei, it's peanut butter or sunflower seeds. Mander, edamame is his primary reinforcer that he likes, although he likes to be petted too. Romeo is both. He likes peanut butter, he likes sunflower seeds, and usually prefers petting to either one. This one over here, it's petting and sunflower seeds. I'm trying to get the Pippa back there in the dark. Pippa, it's mostly petting. So the primary reinforcer doesn't have to be food. With Sugar, it is definitely petting the beak. That's her primary reinforcer, so. Right, girl? Peachy girl. Peachy girl. Yeah, so every bird has something different, that you're doing with them, and at different situations too. So the environment may change the actual tools I'm using. I mean, when Salamander's coming out of his cage, he comes right out, okay? But if he's in the aviary, that's a different situation, so I have to use different tools. Mainly what I'm watching is that he doesn't get too excited. Sugar has to come out first, or she could hurt herself in her cage. She gets so excited about going out. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, Mander's a handsome boy. He's a handsome boy, can I say. We have a little preening going on over here. Bob he's playing with the paper. Yeah, if I don't put paper up above, now see, this is where things change. Usually if you put paper in a cage, that can cause mating behavior, right? Well, if you don't put it in there, he will dig the paper up from underneath the cage, and you can see how far that is. That's a big, you have to really stretch. He can do it. He will get that foot and toes and everything stretched out to the point where he can grab an edge and pull that paper up. So to stop that behavior, it's DRA, right? It's a differential reinforcement. I'm giving him another behavior that fulfills the same thing. He has the paper on the top of his cage. Right, Bob? And that is Bob's mess from just this morning. It's amazing. Salamander's another one. He'll go through his food bowl and dump half of it down underneath. But yeah, they do. Go-go gadget legs is what they've got. What you doing, Peach? And Peach is, if I'm talking like this and she's not out of her cage, she is going to be loud and unhappy. So, and then I have to put paper down because she's not going to poop on me, but she is going to poop blood, a little bit of it because of her sickness. So, not much today though. They're looking a lot better. Maybe she'll fight this off. You never know. That's what the doc and I are hoping, but. Right, Peach? Right, Peach? Huh? Peachy girl. Yeah, yesterday she didn't have a great day. She was pretty quiet. Right, Peach? She didn't say a lot. Kind of just sitting around moping. Today she's been active and running around. Didn't even want to sit on my lap. Yesterday she just sat on my lap most of the time. Today it was run around, play with toys. Yep, right, Cecil? You feeling better there, Precious, huh? You feeling better, Peach? Oh, Peaches. So every one of those people who says he's patting her down the back, that's what he doesn't say to do that. They need to watch that video. So I will be pointing people to that video frequently, I think, to let people know why I do the things I do. I work quite differently with Romeo than I would with Mander, than I work with Peaches, than I work with Cecil or Babaloo. And there's the Babaloo. Almost didn't see you blending in there, kid. Cecil? Cecil. Snowball. I said Cecil. That's Snowball. Snowball. And that's one of the things that it makes it difficult is that you're dealing with behavior, probably the most complex thing in the world. It'd be easier to run a nuclear reactor than it would be, or to design and build one than it is to understand behavior. So. Babaloo? Babaloo? Oh, are you thinking about getting the paper down there? Are you? Something's going on in his head. He's looking down at the paper down below. So, all these look like tricks that I do are actually just parts of the toolkit in ABA. And then you got to understand the toolkit. You got to understand the basics to use it properly. You could probably do some of the things I'm talking about, but fully understanding why they work, you need a course in it. And it'll be if you do that, it'll be the highlight of your life. You'll be able to do all kinds of things you never thought possible. I was working with Jasmine right now. She normally is out in the dining area because there's just not enough room in here for her to be in here. She's in Peach's cage right now, but and she likes the lady of the house, so she'll start crying to be petted. That's one way to look at it, Falcon Sue. Bob is a nuclear reactor, but he's a lot sweeter. He's a sweet boy. Just doesn't look like it to most people, but he is. He hugs me a lot and defends me and stuff. But what she's been doing is she has a really high-pitched squealing sound she makes when she wants to be petted. So as soon as this person gets home, she'll start doing it a little bit. And then if that person is sitting in the living room, then she'll start doing it a lot. And I had to break, and literally had to use ABA here, but I had to break the habit of that lady going out and grabbing her when she makes that sound. Don't do that. What you want to do is if she makes a really quiet sound, something gentle that you don't mind, or if it's no sound at all, so like you go for, I said, just go for 2 minutes. No sound from her, go get her. That way she won't associate her making that pleading sound with being taken out of the cage. Because once you make that association, it's going to be hard to break it. You can break it if you know how, but it's not going to be easy. So you don't want to do that. So, Bob, are you being invisible? The invisible cockatoo? Yeah, he and Cecil are planning something. They were chatting with each other earlier. Oh, thank you, Eleanor, for that super chat. We can definitely use it right now. Appreciate the donation. What are you doing? Snowball. Snowball. You guys, they're all looking pretty relaxed, except for maybe, oh, he's asleep. He's got his foot up. Right, Romeo? Yeah, I'd get up and squirt you some, but I got peaches on my lap. Yeah, misting them gives you, that's an alternative behavior. That's basically DRA. Don't want them to fight over the water, get them wet. What are you doing in there? Snowball. 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 Snowbird. Snowball. I can get him going well, in the morning he does it pretty much the second I walk in here. He'll start going snowball and I'll say snowbird, then he'll say snowbird and I'll snowball and we go back and forth. Right now what are you doing over there with that foot on your face? Snowball? He's incredibly cute. The thing is, you don't see him much in the videos because he gets up and hides from the other birds a bit. But you see him when he's walking on the roof of the aviary a lot because he does that. The other birds don't bother him when he walks on the roof of the aviary, so he'll do that quite a bit. But not one of these birds has, even similar personalities. Hello, Peaches. Oh. Eleanor asked, Don, can you pet Lorelei more than the others because she's your daughter? So no chance of mating behavior? Well, actually, that might be true, except that she's mated. She and Cecil decided to be mated, so if I pet her, it won't really affect that because she's already mated to Cecil. She doesn't really want to be near him anymore, but the mate bond is still there. So, and she's not a bird that likes to be petted all that much. I raised her since she was only 3 months old, so that was early on before I started the sanctuary. So I would say most birds that get raised by someone probably won't mate bond to them, but I'd be guessing because I haven't seen any research on that. And she doesn't like to be petted much. I mean, a little bit. When she comes out to get her treats and her stuff, she wants to be held and petted, but that usually lasts no more than about 4 or 5 minutes, and she's done. So yeah, I probably that's true in most cases, Eleanor. If you've got a bird that you raised and it thinks of you as a parent, it probably won't mate with you. But they're in captivity, so who knows what's going to go on in their heads. I'm fairly sure in the wild they would not mate with their parents, so I'm guessing, and again, her behavior is such that she lets me pet her and she likes to be petted, but for a little while, but then she cancels it, she walks away. So she's more interested in the other birds, and she looks over at Cecil. They look at each other, that kind of thing. Oh, you're welcome, Eleanor. I missed the question at first because I do things like that, but it would be an interesting thing to research. Not too many people have babies that they've raised. When I got her, she was not fledged. She couldn't fly yet. So, and in California, you can't, and I would never buy a bird again. I didn't know any better at the time, but in California, you cannot sell a bird that is not weaned, okay? Unless you sell it directly to a person, not a company. So most of these bird stores have their own little breeding facilities, right? Or they have specific breeders they draw from. But if they breed them themselves, then they can bring them in and they'll force them to wean. Lorelei weaned at 1 year, 3 months, roughly. So as far as her thinking of me as her parent, I'm pretty sure she does. But she listens to me to a certain extent, kind of like a teenager. If I ask her to come out of the aviary, she's probably not going to do that right away. I'll have to chase her around for a while and do the limbo, get under all the ropes and go back and forth for a while. But I actually prefer it that way because I know that her chances of trying to fly when I'm carrying her away are less. And yeah, 3 months, that's incredibly early. But my mind, since I had not taken any courses yet, I was just starting to read books on this stuff. I thought that, since Chloe I was aware that she had been neutered, which is about $1,000 and takes about 45 minutes, and an anesthesiologist along with a vet. I thought that she'd want to raise a baby. Well, she did. She and I raised Lorelei. She actually taught Lorelei a lot of things, but yeah, as far as having their names, yes, most of them did. I did change some of them to similar names. As someone like Cecil, his original name, he'd been named by 2 letters, CC. They didn't want to become bonded to their bird, so they were naming them AA, BB, CC, DD, that kind of thing. This is what I heard. It's just anecdotal because I didn't actually talk to the people. But he responded to that, and then before I got him sexed, he was Cecilia, and then when I found out he was a male, then it became Cecil. Peaches has always been Peaches since she came here. Salamander had another name and was close to Salamander. Romeo was Romeo or Rome. I started calling him Roma too, Roman. So he knows his name as Roman, Rome, or Romeo. Jasmine was Jasmine. Pippa was Pippa. Lucy was Lucy, although I added the last name Westenra from the Bram Stoker novel Dracula. And Sugar was Sugar. And Lorelei was a friend of mine who died in 1999. Her name was Laurel, and so Lorelei is. Yeah, that's true. Jasmine didn't seem to respond. Well, she wasn't responding to much when she first came here. But Lorelei is a combination of the old story about the Lorelei's that sang to the ships, and the ships crashed on the rocks, and then Laurel, for my friend that died in 1999. There's a long backstory to that, but I can make it, I guess I can simplify it. I have an incredibly strong semantic memory, which means I can remember words, like I could create journals in my mind made of words, right? But I have no visual memory. I have some visual recognition. I recognize people's faces, that kind of thing. But I don't remember yesterday, and I don't remember anything visual. I create which is funny. I make videos, but I don't in my mind. It's a condition called SDAM. So it's apparently quite useful with what I'm doing here, because I just keep notes and work off my notes, and if it takes a long time to do something, I don't get frustrated because I don't know how long it took unless I look back at my notes. Yeah. Yep, that's it. Just the opposite of those people who remember everything, right? And the University of, I think it's Calgary up in Canada somewhere. I'm not sure I have that right. I have to look it up again. They were the ones that started the research, and it's been ongoing for a decade or so. They're estimating about 10% of the population has this issue. So can't hold a grudge because I can't remember I can remember what someone did to me, but the emotions aren't there. Hi, Kim. Yeah, you love the peach? I love the peach, too. She loves people. And apparently it's a good condition. It helps you be a little more patient. Helps me work with the birds because I keep my notes on them, and I remember from day to day what they need in a kind of visceral way, as well as just keeping words written down in my head. But I never have to think about what dosage they're getting, day by day. Some of them went down like by 0.015 of them did today, because they're reacting so well to the new environment. It's a peach. It's a peach. It looks like we're going to have a break on the weather, a little bit of a break on the weather, but we're not going to be able to be out in the aviary probably till later this week. Maybe we can do a video out there from 2 hours earlier than we started today, but it all depends on the weather. So, Kaz, what are you doing over there? You're looking over this way. What are you doing? Hi, Kaz. Hi, Cockatoo. Hi, Cockatoo. Hi, Cockatoo. Oh, Cecil. Yeah, I gotta turn the camera around so you can see what Cecil's doing. Okay, George Carlin was my favorite comedian of all time. And when I hear heat wave, I think, well, what would George say? He'd probably try to flip it around and say, why isn't it a heat spell and a cold wave? So I will sometimes do that when someone will say we're having a heat wave. I'll say we're having a heat spell. Let's avoid those cold waves, though. Duh. Yeah, it's a little hot out here. Well, folks, I've gone over about 6 minutes, so I better get the chores done. I still have a lot to do, cleaning cages, washing dishes, etc., etc., etc. So thank you for coming, everybody. Cheryl, Michelle, Eleanor, and Amy, of course, who I wouldn't be able to do this without, and Falcon Sue. And I know Erin was here. I'm not sure if she's still here. I hope I haven't forgotten. Yes, Erin's still here. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for coming. Oh, last question somebody asked. What temperatures can cockatoos handle? What I do is go by their native land. So any cockatoo from Indonesia, I would say 85 to 55 would be okay. With no more than a 15-degree shift in temperature at any time. So in other words, you don't want to take them from a cold area right out into a hot area and vice versa. And then into birds that come from Australia or off Australia, they can take hotter temperatures. So I would say that like birds that were that are actually in Australia, I'd have to look up the temperatures there, but Bob seems to be able to handle higher temperatures. I mean, when it gets to be 85 Fahrenheit outside, like 28 or 29 degrees centigrade, he doesn't seem to have a problem, but Cecil starts panting, so he has to come inside. So I hope I answered that last question adequately, and I will see you guys soon. That would be next Monday, unless I sneak in an extra. You never know. All right, guys, thanks a lot for being here.